We'll speak to Jerry Pooe about production King Cetshwayo that's happening at the Soweto Theatre. He's the director of that musical that's happening. We'll also see if we can't get a hold of Thandeka Zulu. She's a cast member of that production that's happening at the Soweto Theatre. It's also coming up there. So remember, all right, let's see if we can get a hold of Jerry. Jerry, good morning. Can you hear me? Welcome to Morning Live.
Morning, I can hear you.
All right, perfect. All right, let's talk about this production, this internationally acclaimed musical, King Cetshwayo, that's happening at the Soweto Theatre. Talk to us about how this came about and your role at the production.
This came about because I felt that our stories are not told by us most of the time, especially our historical story. So I started researching for a very long time on King Cetshwayo, especially about the Battle of Isandlwana, because I feel that we need to celebrate that as much as we can as Africans. So in 2019, we premiered it in Wales, in England, and it was highly well received. So I'm the writer and the director of the show. Yes, and then we brought it to the Playhouse at the State Theatre, and then COVID came. So now that things are getting better, we are taking it to Soweto Theatre, hoping that most of the learners would come and see their history and where they come from, and be proud of who they are as
I want to talk about your production team and specifically the musical directors. I see here you worked with, the likes of Mbuso Khoza and Sandile Mpungose as musical directors. Talk to us about working with these two creatives to put this production together.
It was very, very exciting because, as we know, Mbuso Khoza is custodian of Amahubo and the Zulu music. And Sandile comes from a very young age. So it was very nice to bring these two worlds together. And they produce a beautiful, beautiful music. And as we are coming there, we are also introducing violin chabeleng with the indigenous instruments. So the music is very powerful. And people are really going to hear the sounds that they are normally not hearing in musicals.
Talk to us about how it all comes together on stage and why that's an important bit of retelling the story that we need to know so much about.
We are having at least a cast of about 20 people on stage, and there are two narrators that are actually telling the whole story as it is, especially the Battle of Isandlwana, because my concentration on the story it's more on the battle and the victory of the Zulu in Isandlwana, because most of the time it's distorted by a lot of stories by the Western point of view.
And why is it so important that we change the narrative and we tell it the way we want to tell it and not how the West wants the story to be told?
It's very important because most of the time you can also see our youth, they always aspire to be Black Americans. And it's important for us to let them know and let the people know our stories as they are, so that will actually revive, the awareness, but more than of the self-love, because that's what we are now losing as people, is the self-love. And I want to revive that to our people, to say, love yourselves. You are great people. You've done so much in your lifetime. And also for people to understand that the land issue is not the issue of yesterday. It's a long, long ago issue, because King Cetshwayo fought so hard to make sure that we don't lose our land. So I just want people to understand that the land issue is an old thing, and it's something that we cannot stop. We need to continue. What King Cetshwayo started for us, and we need to carry the baton and go forward.
You touched a little bit on your cast. I want to speak about your leads. Who are your leads, and why were these the best creatives for these two roles?
The leads are Tobisi and Melusi, and also Olisingubani, who's playing the King Cetshwayo. They've been in the theatre world for a very, very long time. And they are doing an amazing job there. They're doing an amazing job.
How much of their versatility comes through, though, as well, given the fact that this is a musical?
It comes through because we also use multimedia in the musical. We connect the multimedia world and the stage world. So that makes it more creative and more different, you know, because there are scenes that are just happening concurrently with the video. And you watch both the stage and the video, and you hear the story and you feel the story.
And how important was it that you keep evolving this production, because things change as you go along, but you want to keep it fresh as well so that you attract a new audience?
There you are. It's important that you use the music and the dance, you know, because that is what also attracts the people in theatre, and especially in a musical, you know. So it's important all the time when we do the story, something fresh comes in, you know. One that saw the story or the musical at the State Theatre in 2020 would come and see something different in it, because it's important that when you revive and you work on a production, you always look at what you've missed before, you try and keep that in, and then you also say, what is more relevant now that I can throw in so that people can identify with what they are watching. So that's what we did in the show.
All right. Jerry, you open on the 3rd of March. Give us details. How long are you running for at the Soweto Theatre? Ticket sales, where do people purchase tickets? All those details.
Yeah, we are opening the show on the 3rd of March, and we're closing it on the 13th of March. People can purchase the tickets through Soweto Theatre website, but also they can go to Web Tickets in Pick and Pay and get their tickets. And I'm telling you now, people are waiting for us like mad. So people must go out there and buy tickets as soon as they can.
Listen, I also couldn't wait if we had a cast like that. Jerry, thank you so much for talking to us. Jerry Pooe is playwright and director, and talking to us about the King Cetshwayo musical that's set to be staged at the Soweto Theatre this week. There you have it on your screen. It starts on the 3rd of March until the 13th of March at the Soweto Theatre in Jabulani. There 10 o'clock and then 7 o'clock in the evenings, 150 for tickets. Thank you so much there to Jerry Pooe.